I'm so glad that's over. They were hallucinations. You sure?
I'm sure. Somebody, I'll call her Scarlet, was messing with our minds.
Okay, then let's figure out what she's up to here, and put an end to it.
Are you afraid? You should be. Run for your life!
Our serpentine friends are working themselves into quite a frenzy.
As long as they believe we're incarnating one of their true prophets, they'll die to protect it. It's a pity that Scarlet didn't stay to witness the realization of her vision.
I was skeptical, but I see now that our alliance has borne wondrous.
Pretty abominations. Maybe I'll remake you too, in watchwork, after you're dead.
Sickle! Where am I?
Oh man.
Seriously. Strong. Eat my dust.
Okay, we can do this. Stick close to me.
One step at a time.
I'm in your mind, playing with your thoughts. Don't be discouraged.
Hmm. No, not as meant to. Yo, sorry, Mark. I'm didn't have it covered. Apologies. I had a nightmare getting up here, and I was asking a bunch of questions in the GW2 Discord, and I think people took me the wrong way when I was questioning them. I think instead of taking it to mean like, can you explain why that's the choice, they took it to mean like, why is and I was calling them wrong. I don't know, honestly. I just want a build that works for both, but it seems like it's impossible. It seems that I can either have a build that will work in that'll work decently in both, but it's going to be super complex and I can't do anything with it, or I can have two completely different builds that will require different rotations, and it's not something I can learn. But like the fight that's in this room was just normal enemies and took me like 6 attempts. And it shouldn't have. They were just normal enemies, but they were just doing way too much damage. They were doing a whole bunch of stuff, and I wasn't doing enough, and I don't know why. I mean, yeah, but we're also talking story missions with no. I went in a whole thing with them about there was basically in the group area there was one single elite enemy that I could not kill, and they kept saying you need a group to do it. And I kept asking, I'm not talking about doing the whole tower myself. I'm aware of the whole things I could prevent. I'm talking about killing one enemy. If I can't do that, clearly something is wrong, right? But like, it's basic stuff. It's not like I'm in anything super complex. Um, so I don't know. Like I'm trying to learn the rotations, and they just feel like they don't work. I'm dodging all the damage I can, but it's like the first instance of damage I dodge, second I dodge, the third I can't dodge, and then I get killed. Is kind of how it feels. Right, but for perspective, Mark, this is just so where we left off the story after you finish the events outside. You come here, you get through the tower, you get up into this first room. And it's taken me this long since I've messaged you. Granted, with a short break, what's this? Oh, legend.
Nice gear.
I was saying it just shouldn't have taken this long to get up here, and I'm considering going back to the Untamed build because that seemed like the survivability was better, but the rotation on that is absolutely insane, and I'm never going to be able to learn that. It's not a question of with enough time. It's a question I would need to spend months just practicing the rotation and doing nothing else, which is quite frankly just not fun. How did I turn this on? I can barely wrap my head around this. Because even for the simple rotation of this one, I think I'm on the wrong page. I am on the wrong page, damn it. Basically, the simple rotation for Soul Beast is... Where are they? Where are the skills? Sikkim, one wolf pack, go in with your pig skill. They're not shown here. This one's different because it's for open world. And like just that alone was fucking me up, because what would happen is I would start it to go in. I don't know what that is. I would start it to go in, and by the time I actually got it finished and got a melee range, I'd be half dead. So it's like, what's the point? And it's not a speed thing, because it was as fast as me going 1, 2, 3. I mean, I got it down to that speed, and it still wasn't quick enough. And if you dodge while you're doing it at certain points, it stops working. If you get damaged at certain points. And I've been trying to do that, but it feels like it's not going to get me anywhere at this point. Okay, well, I'm stunned. Stuff and dodge, thank you.
My aether blades will cut you to pieces this time.
Urge to kill rising.
On the other
Heal one.
Like, this has me focusing on absolutely everything I'm doing. I don't... This isn't really spoilers. Yeah, I'm not gonna continue. I'm just in combat. Like, so I healed there and dodged and didn't get the healing. Because I guess I dodged and cancelled it. But I had to dodge because the damage that I would have taken there was too much to live through. It's weird, man. I don't know. And the way people are talking about it, they're just like, oh, you just need to learn the attack patterns and things. And it feels like...
What's the matter? Are you
You might be away and I'm going to be talking
It's
to
just a
normal
thorn. I'll be okay. Keep moving.
It's a thing where it's like, oh, so I need to know every single attack pattern from every enemy so I know what to avoid and what to attack. Because otherwise it's just going to be... I don't know, it doesn't feel like any skills involved. It feels like it's me memorizing what things to use when. And going, okay, I know I need to do shift 3, shift 5, control 3. And that'd be me in. And that's every time. And if you don't do that, you're fucked. And then coming off of that, you're using certain hammer abilities, but not other ones. If you use 5 instead of 4, for example, you've fucked the rotation and now you're out of range and they are doing damage to you that you can't avoid. And like, it's a whole thing, and I do not understand how any of that's fun. And it's really making me worry that I'm not going to enjoy the endgame stuff, because while it's not needed here, it's me doing something wrong, apparently, is what everyone's saying. It is needed in the late game. And if it's needed in the late game and I can't do it, I'm not... You know, it's annoying. I don't know. I just don't know what to do at all.
You should be.
I'm not going to use a level 80 boost because that... The thing is, it is. And every other class is the exact same. Every single other... Like, right, in this game, for example, right? Ranged doesn't actually exist. You always want to be close to your group anyway. So range never exists. You're never actually back doing range stuff. So it doesn't matter what weapons you're using, you're always in melee range. Which is a problem in of itself because half the things I dodge successfully. The stuff that I can't dodge is the stuff that seems to one-hit me. But it doesn't seem to be like it doesn't seem to be a case of where, oh, I'm unlucky and I dodged the light damage stuff and it's the heavy damage that I tanked. It just seems to be that all of it's gonna do insane damage to me. I've also learned as well, this was yesterday mind you, but I don't know what I can do about it. Wrong buttons. H is what I'm looking for. My toughness, wherever that is. They do. For any group content, you have to be. Otherwise, you're not going to get any buffs or heals. That's how the group content works in game. If you're not in melee range, you don't get the buffs or heals. Like, you're ranged in the sense of your range, your attacks are ranged, you're capable of doing range, but if the boss is stood... Yeah, and I like, maybe that's it. Maybe it's because, like, I have one skill that heals me. Untamed has more, you leech health and do all these other things, but the rotation is way too complex. So, like, the start I even understand. You start off with your pet, Untamed, and you basically just do control 1, 2, and 3. Right, onto whatever target you do. While you're doing that, you want to run into melee combat and switch to this. Then you only want to use some skills, not all your skills. That one isn't even one you always want to use, per se, because of certain stuff that happens. On top of that, you want to be making sure you're using all these skills in a way where you're not cancelling any animations, but also maintaining, like, the relic. You need to be switching weapons at the correct time to make sure your upkeep's fine, but also you need to be switching this to make sure you're keeping up with these. It's too much to focus on, even though that build suits me better, which means I'm not going to be able to get there. I'm not going to be able to get into a situation where I'm going to be able to use all those skills. That's never going to happen for me. I never play games like that for that reason. But the things that are simpler don't really actually exist. The simplest one is the engineer with the mech. I've forgotten what it's called. But even that one, you're still managing 3 sets of hotbars constantly. You're constantly having to maintain all of those things, and it's too much to do. But you can't do in game without doing that. It's not about relying on them, it's because you just need to. Now I don't need to right now, but I will need to for endgame. And if I play doing this for the endgame stuff, you do. For like the tier 4 fractals, you do. You will not survive and pull your own weight in a fractal unless you're using the meta build and doing the rotations correctly. It's just factual according to everyone in the Guild Wars Discord, the players that have been playing since launch and all these things. And if I was to play the way I would want to play now, I would get to endgame not having practiced any of that, and then I would be stuck at a point where I would need to learn. No, but what I'm trying to say is I would be... So let's assume I play normally, the way I would want to, up until now. Maybe I can get to the end of the tier 2 fractals, maybe I can get into tier 3, I don't know. There's going to be a point where that no longer works, and I need to learn this new... but I won't collect the experience I need because all I'm essentially doing is just mash it, because the rotations are not about use. How do I explain? Right, see with this weapon set, you've got your sword and your axe, right? Your 4 skill will get someone in close range to you if they're far away. That's how I would use that. If someone was running away from me, or if I want to pull someone in closer, I would either use number 4, I would use 2 or 3, because they're like gap closers, so for evading, right? You can also evade attacks with this. That's how I would use them. That's what I feel would be the skill involved in using those skills. Similarly, if I start getting gripped up, or I need to do damage to multiple foes at the same time, that's when the 5 skill comes in. I don't believe the stuff that I am talking about will, because that in no way comes naturally to me. That stuff is... Can you play Guitar Hero? I guess it's like that. I know some people who can pick up Guitar Hero and they can play it, guitar players. I also know some people who can... No, I'm not trying to master the whole thing either. I'm trying to learn part of it. It's exactly what I'm doing. I wish I could show you the actual version I was looking at before, but the website's down apparently. It broke it into stages, right? So it would go like, you know, here's how you want to open your rotation. And the reason I like this website, the Snow Crows one, is because it actually explains why you're doing what you're doing, instead of just saying use this skill and this skill and this skill. It would actually tell you why. First, you're using this skill because it's going to do X, Y, and Z. No, you're right. So I'm practicing the first 2 steps of the rotation. The first 2 steps are, the opener is to just your utility stuff. Yeah, but you master the first 2 at the same time, because the first part of the rotation is using those 3 skills, and then the second part is it focuses on axe instead of hammer. Even though that's your secondary, it focuses on what skills you need to use for your axe. The 3rd and 4th parts are adding in hammer and adding in the rest of your utility, but I've ignored them for now. I've just focused on the opener and the axe part. I can do it as quick as anyone else can. But when I do it, I get damaged between. And it doesn't even seem to be about finding an opening either. Because it's not about the opening, unless I know exactly what attack the enemy over here is going to do. Because I can be like, right, okay, I've just dodged an attack. Right, great, now is my time to start because I've just dodged an attack. He's going to have to get another one ready. It doesn't matter, it's fine, I can't explain it. The point is, I'm really going to struggle with endgame, and I'm going to struggle way more with it if I can't learn this stuff now, at least in part. And learning this stuff now in part is becoming more of a hindrance than it is a help. So what's most likely going to end up happening is, I'm going to get to some point in endgame where I need to stop, and I'm going to have to end up spending all of my time in the game just practicing the rotation and doing nothing else, which I don't want to be doing, because that in itself will stop me from playing the game, because that's not a natural skill for me that I can work upon. That's something I have to actively think about constantly, which then stops me from doing other things. Your aim in a first-person shooter, that's something that will just naturally improve for myself and for, I think, most others. But I know some people who are not that way, and that's fine. But in general, that's something that will just passively improve as you play. It's to do with muscle reflexes and all these things. But knowing when to but it's not, and that's my point. If it was about timing your skills as to when your skills were actually suited, that is something I could learn. For example, I already had an idea of when I should be using whirling defense, how I should be pairing it with my trap, how I should be doing this. It's not in the end game stuff because it's all about using the specific rotation, and the specific rotation isn't a case of if you're up against an enemy that has this, you do this first, then it's just a case of when you are fighting an enemy, here is what you open with. Okay, go. Mm-hmm. Right. So, yes and no. Yes, there is a lack of feeling for the timing. No, that's not something that will just take time for me because the timing isn't about this skill is used against this. Your 2 and 3 skills are used for gap openers. That's where they shine. Your 5 skills used for group damage, and that's where that shines. Because that's not what's involved in terms of the timing. The timing is specifically do this as your opener. Doesn't matter when or where. Fight. If you are fighting, this is your opener. Then you follow on this is the second step. This is what I mean. I was focusing on these two because this part I understood. This is your second step. Right? In the endgame stuff, it does not matter who you're fighting, doesn't matter what you're fighting, doesn't matter if they have shield or resistances or what have you. That is the opener, that's the only opener. And that's kind of the thing that I don't like about the game. Because you will have to be incredibly, incredibly skilled in order to not use that. And incredibly, incredibly skilled from what I've been talking to, what I gather from talking to the players in the Stability here explains why the rotations work in it. Yes, no, it does. That I like this website for that reason. It actually instead of just saying use brutal charge, then sick 'em, then swap weapons, then use this, it actually tells you why. You know, to maintain the damage outside of a burst, we're going to keep uptime on twice as vicious. It's triggered by Path of Scars and brutal charge. It's same way in step 1. It says the most important part of the Soul Beast burst is a sick 'em. Upon use, your damage will skyrocket for 10 seconds. When it's available, you do the following burst. So, like, I like the website that it gives you that. That gives me more of an understanding as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. But the way I would play the game, or any game, is your skills would be used at certain times. Not that a combo would be used every time, and here's why you're using it. I know they're different games, and it probably is mostly to do with that, because I don't really play MMOs much. I've never played them before, but it would be like saying if you're playing Luna Snow, your opener is always freeze the person running towards you, then use your shift to sustain yourself, and then shoot them. That's not always what you're gonna do. It entirely depends on the situation. The situation changed a lot, but in this game, if it's high level stuff, that's what you do, and it's only that. It's never anything else. You're never not gonna use Sikkim. It's never not gonna be the case. You're never not gonna use this for your opener either. Even though you may want to save these, you may not want your opener to be the big damage, because this is obviously what gives you the big damage. You may want to wait and use that after. But that is what endgame is. Like that's what everyone in the Discord is saying. These are the players who are, like, some of them were the guys who made these builds. That's not easy for me to learn. That kind of thing isn't easy for me to learn. It would be like, for some people, yeah, but that's not, and similarly, even now, using the first stuff, not really, because it gets too far beyond the point. It's like with Guitar Hero, right? I could learn, I could sit down, I could take time, and I could memorize like the first 12 bars, I don't know, what have you, of a song, and then I can play it perfectly every time because I've actually memorized those bars. I know specifically I'm pressing this one 2 seconds later, this one half second later, this one, but I can't do that for a long period of time over a massive amount. And most of these builds, unless you're playing like the easiest one there is, it does get that long. Because like this is the baby one, right? This is the beginner one, and once you understand this, you're supposed to move on. So once you've got all this down, so this is where you're talking about axe mastery. So you're basically saying that half the burst one has been filled with auto attacks. In this step, we're going to add our axe skills in. Still starting on hammer, but the burst will be, this, and it adds in the, these. Step 4 is adding in frost trap, whirly impact, maul, one wolf. Oh, well, that's the same one twice. And it's saying this one will be available for other burst. This is already too much for me to memorize and go, okay, I'm going to do this every time, because it's too much for me to follow. If it was a case of I could follow it and not care about anything else, then yeah, I totally could. But I need to focus on when I'm going to dodge, I need to focus on when I need to heal, I need to focus on where my party is, and things like that, which is why I'm not going to be able to memorize. Then you go into the actual full build, which, oh god, yeah. Those guys need to give up. Then you go into the full build, which adds in hammer and this doesn't go over all the stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I really wish it was a case of I would use these skills when they suited the moment most. I'm not gonna continue. We'll just rather me walk in for no reason. I mean, to the point where the end game rotations include when you should be healing yourself, which I find absolutely insane. But that's how the high end people play the game. They don't heal when they need healed, they heal on a rotation. Which to me is just mind-baffling, because how on earth can every single situation lead to needing healed at the same time? But apparently it does. And also, supports. If you have a character who's playing a support role, forgetting the melee supports, forgetting the boon guys. I'm talking about the actual active, like the AoE healers. I forget what the actual build type is called in the game. Right, but that's my point. You would not always heal the same way in every single situation, would you? Neither would I. The reason me and you are both good supports is because we know when to prioritize certain characters over certain other characters. We know how to adapt to the situation we're in. I know it's not something I'm able to master today, but what I mean is it's something that I would need to start working on now, so that by the time I get to the end game stuff, I'd actually be somewhat confident and maybe able to do it. No, I agree with you there. We don't use the crazy strats, sorry. But there is an element of we have our core skill, and we use that to adapt and change when the situation needs it. Sometimes we're going to do a bit more damage as a support. Sometimes we're going to do... No, because that's the way I would play any game, right? That's the way I would play any game. That's just how I would. This game doesn't do that. This game is a case of, like, the supports cast buffs and heals on a rotation at specific times. It's not a case of going like, oh my god, I need to heal you now because you've just taken a massive amount of damage. It's a case of, oh no, that was like 4 steps ago, you have to go wait till it comes back around, man. And I have been too, but it's getting to the point now where shit's kicking my ass really well on. And when I was asking about advice in the Discord, because I thought maybe for open world I might want to stop going with just the full-on Zerker stuff and go for like Celestial maybe, because it might give me a bit more health among other things. Because a lot of people have actually recommended that to not use full Zerker stuff. Because for example, like I was saying before, one thing that I didn't know. No, sorry, not Rain's Discord. I'm talking about the actual Guild Wars 2 Discord. Like some of the people in there, one of the people that were replying to me is one of the guys that makes these builds. Not all of them, mind you. He's not the guy, but like he's like one of the guys. So I thought maybe that was it. Maybe I should go for like the Celestial stuff because people have recommended that. Like Patella talked about it once, and so did Camper, who's been in both mine and Range streams. You may want like an open world build that kind of gives you a bit more of a balance over everything, and then you can have your like Zerker build. Yo, what up, Patella? You can have your Zerker build like just for the fractal stuff. But when I was talking to them on the Discord, that's not at all the answer that I was getting. It is a crisis. It's becoming a crisis because it's getting to the point where I can't even progress through one story mission without dying 17 times. Basically, Cattell, the short version of this long conversation me and Mark have been having is I was struggling with the... Well, you were there. I was struggling with the tower, and then I stopped to have dinner. That's when I ended the stream. I think you went off for food as well, but I'm pretty sure you caught me as I started in the tower, right? And I was like, how the hell am I supposed to do this? They were telling me it's because it was a group event. I was saying no, this... Yeah, for well, they didn't say specifically T4. They said for any late game group stuff. So it obviously includes T4 fractals, but I'm guessing that also includes raids and other things. They did say PvE specifically. They said PvP and World v World is entirely different, so you can exclude them. But I'm guessing when they say all late game stuff, they encapsulate more than just the T4 fractals. I would assume. Right. I am aware of that. The reason I'm practicing this here is not because I feel necessarily that I need it here. I am struggling here. That's maybe a separate issue. Yeah. When I got through part of the tower, I was in a group of four people. My damage input when all of us were attacking the same enemy was negligible. Which, unless I'm completely wrong, to me, should be more than that. If I was an amazing player, my max maybe would be 25% of the damage, assuming we're all on the same skill level. So even taking that into account, that the three I happen to be playing with are proper professionals at the game, the damage that I was doing within the group of four should have been somewhat noticeable. It should have at least been slightly noticeable, but it wasn't. There was actually zero that visibly, there was zero difference between me attacking and me not attacking, and how much that health bar was going down. So I was like, okay, maybe the reason I'm dying so much is actually because the way I'm playing this build, I'm not actually doling out enough damage. It's not the fact that I'm too squishy per se, it's the fact I'm not killing the things quick enough to get it out, because that really is part of this game. You don't need to tank a crap ton of damage and slowly whittle them away. That the whole point is to get the enemies away quickly so they can't damage you as much. So that's when I started asking, and I was saying to them that while this problem I'm having does exist in group events, it's also starting to show in solo stuff when I'm doing the story chapters and things, where these enemies are actually just super tough and it's taking me ages to kill them. And that's when they started asking me if I'm using the rotations correctly. And I'd said, no, not really. I kind of came up with my own rotation. I've tried, it's been super confusing, but I've tried to learn it. They showed me this site, which actually does a better job at explaining the rotations in sections and why you should be using those rotations. So, I've been practicing trying to use it with hopefully the intention of making this stuff easier, but mostly the intention of practicing so that when I get to that late game stuff, I will have had some practice instead of just going into it and then learning. But doing this is becoming a hindrance because when I'm trying to do this and focus on this, I can't focus nearly as much on dodging and all these other things. And this type of gameplay, this type of, go from skill 1 to 4 to 3 to 7 to all this jazz, is not something I'm going to be able to memorize and just have constantly readily available in my mind so that I can just call upon it and do it whenever. Secondly, okay, I'm glad I'm making sense because it feels like I'm not. But yeah, I'll wait for you to continue before I start rambling again. I'm also gonna open this window again because it's absolutely roasted in here. Okay. Okay, I thought there was more coming. So, oh yeah, there we go. When you say game mode, are you talking PvE, PvP, World v World, or are you talking more specifics than that, like group content, solo content? I'm assuming it's the first, but I thought I'd just check to make sure. Yeah, that I knew already. That makes sense. And I would assume, I might be entirely wrong, I would assume that rotations don't necessarily exist in PvP in the same way they do in this, because in this there's an attack pattern and certain things can happen, whereas in PvP it's just entirely up to what the enemy player does as to what you're going to be trying to counter, avoid, and out damage. So my problem then is I'm not surviving well enough here at all, whether it's not enough damage or what have you. But what I do know is I've gotten much better at dodging, and it's still a case of like the digs has beaten to any class does damage. I'm talking about a full rotation, not individual small bits. Like for example, I fully understand what, so like the opener for this build's rotation is using Sikkim, one wolf pack, and I've forgotten the name. Brutal charge. Right? I can understand how in nearly every situation in PvE that will work. Like there really isn't a situation where that small part's not gonna work. The whole rotation is what I'm talking about. And what I was led to believe is that that whole rotation is what you need to learn and master to be able to do these things. And when I was talking about the open world stuff, I was getting two answers really. I was getting told that I need to learn it, but also that if I need to do this in order to survive, something's very wrong. Which was annoying me because that's the question I was asking them. So I was like, well, yes, something is wrong. You told me the answer was this, so what the hell? Right. It's not possible to dodge every instance of... I'm assuming so anyway, based on how quickly your stamina recharges. In your normal fight, it's not possible to dodge every instance of damage. Unless I'm just the unluckiest player ever, I am dodging the instances of damage that wouldn't one-shot me, and then getting hit by the instances of damage that would. That's what it feels like from my perspective. Which is why this stuff is struggling. It's why I'm struggling with this stuff. I know that. I don't have many in this. Well, this is actually the wrong build. Oh no, this is the right build. I don't have many. I believe timed well, I can dodge with this. Uh-huh. I can't swap pets when I'm merged. I need to unmerge to swap pets, and that gives me 10-second cooldown. And there is a universal thing where this one is the one to go. Sometimes you don't dodge. Right, okay. I don't know. The only constant answer I got is that something is wrong if I'm struggling this much, and I'm very aware that something is wrong. But the only help I was getting was talking about rotations. So that's what I went with, because that was coming from a vast number of people in the Guild Wars Discord that know what they're talking about. I don't know. It's just pissing me off. It feels like for some now, except the Nightmare Tower, because I know why that's made the way it is because when it was originally made, it was a limited time thing. It was supposed to be done open world. That's why they added the event skip, which I had to go and buy stuff from the shop just to actually be able to do the skip. And maybe after this is fine, but I even noticed it going into the DLC map. I mean, this is, I can't show you. The Heart of Mugum or whatever, the Heart of Thorns map. It went from me having relatively no issue with average monsters, I'm not talking about elites and things, me having basically no problem with them, to me almost dying in every single fight to them. Switching to the longbow helped because I was far away. But I'm less and less enjoying the longbow, which is why I went back to melee. The only hints I got of that were them saying certain stuff is easy. For example, when they were telling me this, they were like, yeah, it's good you're doing Ranger because this rotation is easy. And I was saying, like, well, that's a relative term. It might be easy for you, this is not easy for me, in the same way that, I don't know, I'd say I'm very good at playing the Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War games. That's easy to me, that may not be easy to someone else. That's what I was getting at with them. And they seem to understand that, which is why I was under the impression they got where I was coming from. But I don't know. It's just, it's weird. It's weird that it would jump from being completely fine to being not fine at all, with little to no change, but also knowing that, I mean, I've gone above what I should have. So for open world, like, Ascended Gear is actually just kind of too far. I will say one concern I have is getting too used to something and then having to learn something completely different to go into fractals. That's why I was looking at builds when I started. It wasn't to say that I felt I needed the build to play the game. It was more that, like, it was more to do with the weapons, right? I want to go with this build as soon as I can. Basically, as soon as I hit level 80 and have access to specializations. Not because I feel I need it, but because I want to get used to the weapon skills and the utilities and how my pet handles and how much damage I can. I want to get used to all that so I have somewhat preparation for the end game stuff.
Possible. This is not the top DPS build a soul beast can achieve, but rather an option for when you are learning the class, want to chill and watch Netflix on another monitor, or if you have shaky hands or any other condition that could impact your gameplay. Drop a like on the video or sub to the channel for more content. Ring the bell for all future notifications. As always, my undying gratitude to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who keep this channel alive. More on how you can support at the end. Let's begin. Equipment. Full Viper's gear with superior runes of the crate. Shortbow weapon. We did testing with various other Condi weapons and got similar results to what I'm going to show you, but Shortbow has an additional interrupt and range, which makes it more forgiving, so we went with this. Sigils of Earth and Bursting on the Shortbow. Our heal skill can really be anything. I like Healing Spring because it also cures conditions on my entire team. Sharpening Stone, Vulture Stance, and Signet of the Wild. I'll mention some alternatives later.
I'm the exact same, Mark. That's why one of the main reasons I struggle with it.
Much what you pick. Juvenile Warthog Pet. I did some testing with the Lynx and Bristleback pets and got almost identical results. However, the Warthog
when I was using us playing support as an example, that's exactly what I meant. When we see the enemy as a Defiance bar, we're gonna spam our CC. When I am. How do you know this is a group? Does it say? The other thing is I don't want to change all my gear again. I really don't. I mean, I've gotten back to 70-ish gold, which this is me recouped from getting all this gear. Obviously, I replaced some of this with the ascended stuff from the Wizard's Vault, but like excluding that, this now where I am replaced all that. I don't want it to be a case where like, okay, just replace all this again. And I'd ideally like to use hammer because hammer's fun, but.
So today I'm back with another very easy, low intensity but very high output DPS build for PvE in Guild Wars 2. This time we take a look at Ranger and in particular we take a look at Soul Beast. This build is not as broken as the Unload Deadeye where you just press one button and then you can take your hands off the keyboard. So if you want to check that out, be sure to check out the description or the link in the top right hand corner. This build here is special in a different way. It is very easy to perform and to get to 30k DPS. And you can then slowly increase the amount of buttons that you press. You can go up to numbers of 35k DPS or something, or even higher, just by increasing the amount of buttons that you press and increasing the amount of, let's say, going closer to the real rotation of a really high intensity Soul Beast build. That's the cool part about this build. So now, with that much out of the way, let's start with the gear. So the gear is really straightforward. We run full Berserker with Scholar Rune. Very easy. Full Berserker armor, full Berserker trinkets, full Berserker weapons. For weapons, you use sword and axe. force and impact sigil. And on the offhand, which you don't swap too often, you would use the longbow, again with force and impact sigil. For relic, you go with Relic of Sakiros, just a passive healing buff, really, really good. If you want to do a little bit more DPS, you can go for relic.
I obviously don't include I don't include you in this, Catella. I don't include anyone who jumps in the stream and is chill. There's one question I've googled online, I've asked the community, I've asked individual people, I've asked in the game, I've asked out of the game. Is there a viable build for Ranger that uses longbow and something else? And the answer was always no. I did preface this with, it does not need to be a meta build, it does not need to be a build specifically for group content or for individual, it doesn't, I'm just asking if there is one that's like a known build, because I'm aware that you can just use whatever you want and you can figure it out. Also, how this never came up when I was Googling. Yes, you're the one that gave me that suggestion, and I liked it at the start. I stopped liking longbow, and I honestly don't super enjoy sword and axe, but if I have to, I guess I have to. I can live with it, I guess.
Then you lose some healing. This build is optimized for group settings, so your instance content like fractals, like raids, like strike missions.
Oh.
It's not optimized for solo builds. So if you want to have a Soulbeast solo build, be sure to check out the link in the description or the video in the top right hand corner.
Well, there we go, that works.
For utility and
still, that's annoying. He's German? I couldn't tell. How do you know? That one. Please tell me you know I was joking, right?
so this solo build is really strong because it has every boon in the game almost permanently. It does a lot of damage and has amazing sustain.
That's short.
I'm sorry, today we're gonna take a look. It does a lot. So this solo build is really strong because it has every boon in the game almost permanently. It does a lot of damage and has amazing sustain. I'm Summer, and today we're gonna take a look at this Soulbeast build. So disclaimer as always, this is a solo build, so you want to achieve as much damage as you can without having any support. So we are going to achieve this by using Celestial Gear with Trapper runes, of course, to get maximum condition damage, while still
it's condition damage, it's not power damage.
Most importantly for this build is actually the concentration. You will see when we get to the traits and skills. For weapons, you want to use Dagger, Warhorn, and Shotbow. On both of the weapon sets, you want to run Frailty and Strength to just get enough might stacks, to get enough vulnerability stacks on the enemy, and it's really easy to upkeep. Just keep in mind that you want to try to strike them from behind or their flank if they are not defined. And then we have Relic of Rivers. That's so strong on this build because you want to have so many boons all the time.
Well, I guess I'll look into this later, but it's not something I can afford to do right now. I'm not willing to blow all of my money again on an entirely different set. So I'm gonna have to live with it. If you want to close your eyes, Mark, I'm gonna go and start this now. I'll give you a moment. I'm going in. If that will work, and
Burning
hate that I can't move while using that. Ow. Hello. There we go.
In bad shape here.
Yeah, I can heal again. Can you guys stop knocking me down? Thank you. Especially if my knockdowns don't work on you. Fuck me. Oh, that's doing no damage. I don't like that. I kinda need it to do damage if I want to live. Get me up, pig. Get me up. Come on. Oh, fuck off, use it.
Strong.
Jesus Christ. But that...
Here we go. Sure we're still not hallucinating?
I'm real.
I guess I just wish it wasn't a thing. I don't think it should be a case of, like, you know, there's one build that works perfectly everywhere, but I really...
Why don't you just give up?
I really don't like I need an entirely separate build for this. I need to get used to an entirely different build, and then I have to move into a whole new set for group stuff. So what was the first one?
With these skills, you can get away with replacing either Frost Trap or Signet of the...
With that much out of the way, let's start with the gear. So the gear is really straightforward. We run full burst.
No, I know. I mean, I'll do it. I just wish that wasn't the case. You know? Like, I like the idea that my guy uses a hammer, not my guy uses a hammer when he's out kicking about, but when he's going into the hardcore stuff, he uses something entirely different. Like, you know, it's just gonna
Full Berserker armor, full Berserker trinkets, full Berserker weapons. For weapons, you use sword and axe, force and impact sigil, and on the offhand, which you don't swap too often, you would use the longbow. Again with force.
But this build's going to be the same problem. There isn't going to be anything defensive.
You go with Relic of Sakiros, just a passive healing buff, really, really good. If you want to do a little bit more DPS, you can go for Relic of the Thief, but then you lose some healing. This build is optimized for group settings, so your instance content like fractals, like raids, like strike missions. It's not optimized for solo builds. So if you want to have a Soulbeast solo build, be sure to check out the link in the description or the video in the top right hand corner. For utility and food consumables, you want to go, of course, with Cilantro Lime Sous Vide Steaks if you can afford the Ascended version, just some little bit more DPS and lifestealing. Other than that, power and ferocity. If you can't afford the Ascended version, go for the bowls of sweet and spicy butternut squash soup. Same stats, just not the lifesteal. And then, for utility consumables, you always go with Superior Sharpening Stones or similar versions of that, just some nice power buff. Let's now quickly talk about the traits. So the traits are Skirmishing, Beast Mastery, and Soul Beast. So in Skirmishing, you just get a lot of damage buffs, some swiftness, some fury, some crit chance increase and damage increase. You get some bleeding, that's not important. You get some nice power and might, that helps. And then some nice fury and crit chance increase and ferocity. Just overall a lot of just offensive buffs. And Beast Mastery, this is important because you're a Soul Beast, so you can merge with your pet. You use the pig pet. If you merge with it, you actually inherit the stats of it. And the Beast Mastery actually buffs.
I mean, how much is it going to cost me for Celestial gear? Is it cheap or is it not cheap? Well, what? How else would I get it? I mean, I could craft it. Yeah, I don't like World v World, and I can't go to Heart of Thorns till I've finished this. It won't be cheap either. Okay. Ideally, I don't want to go into any of these areas. I went into this area to get to here so I could get weapon mastery, and I already don't enjoy that I've seen that. I'm not happy with myself that I've seen that. Similarly, I'm not happy that I went into the Heart of Thorns map, but at least I didn't have to start the story for that. No, I don't need you to send me stuff, man. It's fine. So what's the meta event in Heart of Thorns? And is it gonna give me one random piece of exotic gear each time I complete it or something? Is that the just? What's the currency? I might have some already because I did a couple events while I was there. Wait, I have... Can I get anything with 618 badges of honor? Or is it a crazy amount to get? Alright, okay. Well, we can start with that, I guess. Right, okay.
You are a welcome guest.
Goodbye.
Bartender. Big robot. That's 200 to 75. I don't know. We did some World v World, me, Mark, and... Oh, Mark, if you can hear me, I'm not doing the story stuff anymore for now. If you just minimize, but still have the audio on. Ah, okay. I wasn't sure. I was gonna message you. Me and we did some World v World stuff. I guess I happen to get a bunch. I think I can afford it all. Quick maths. That's 150, 250, 325, 4. Yeah, no, I can get all that. I think. Do I just buy that all? Dope. Man, I must did not fail me. Right, also I don't know what this thing is. I got it randomly. If you happen to know off the top of your head. Yes, so bind yeah. Yep. 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 It does look kinda cool. Right. This is gonna be open world. This is gonna be group stuff. Do I want weapons to be celestial too? That's a point. Okay. I mean, is it not worth buying these ones? Also, check what weapons I need. Oh, I buy trinkets with badges. Alright, sick. What were the weapons? Yeah. Try that again. It was sword, axe, longbow. Right. Where do I get the trinkets from? Cups and tricks. CMPC different tab, okay. Heavy, medium, light. So, 1 amulet, 2 rings, 2 accessories, right? I can't afford 2 accessories, I can afford 1. Or I can afford 1 amulet. Right. Well, that's fine. What? There we go. And the amulet I'm wearing. Was it short bow? I thought it was long bow.
On the offhand, which you don't swap too often, you would use
Longbow. I mean, I could go short bow. If short bow's gonna be better, I don't know. But apparently I'm not swapping to it often, so I don't think it really matters. So I'm gonna take off these things for now. Oh yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right. Balls, where was that? That was in his description. That's not it. We need
a lot of defensive stats as well. Most importantly for this build is actually the concentration. You will see when we get to the enemy, and it's really
short bow
and you want to
and
use dagger warhorn.
Dagger warhorn.
And
right, so I need a short bow, a dagger, a warhorn. You said it was called Stardust. Yeah, that's dead cheap. That ain't cheap. And that's already celestial, right? So I need a warhorn. So it's any shit. Okay. Am I just not weapon swapping then? It was
Nice gear.
okay, cool. Wait, no. And what I'll do for now is chuck on longbow. That way if I'm swapping to something, it'll be still Works. But I make myself look fashionable. So the runes the build user are a bit annoying. Oh great, okay. So what's on the shore, but we can focus on that. Let me just open up Notepad real quick. Need to craft them. Okay. What do you need to be to craft runes? I have a max level. I have a max level artificer. Please tell me that's what I need for runes. I beg you to say yes. Ah, okay. Well. How much would it be to just buy them though? How much more expensive than 4 gold each is it? Realty. Strength. Superior. So that's what I want for the longbow. And what did it say I want for the armor?
By using celestial gear with trapper.
Rune of the Trapper. Look to the runes. Is that basically the same way condition damage, poison drip? Oh, if that's what I want, yeah. Is that what you think I should go for? I need 7. Well. Wow, number 3. Well, there we go. There's 4. Right. Now, I'm gonna assume that I'm correct in saying it does not matter about the underwater stuff, because I don't care about underwater. Oh, Sharp was much faster. I'm guessing Sharp was faster for less damage. I'm guessing that's the... Yeah, okay. I figured that it was some kind of answer like that. Right, so I'm guessing the ones I actually want are going to be super expensive. Is that the one that I want? Why is that the one that I want? Am I often going to be trying to get behind them? That is the one that I want, okay. So one of those... Oh. Okay, well. I may not have waited. Why?
Nice gear.
It is nice gear, you better appreciate it. Amount of money I've sunk into you, big man. I hope you know how much mining you're gonna be doing with these tools. Make it back. Right. Would I be better? No, I know not the longbow. I know. That's why I was looking like, why are there 2 runs on this? Would I not be better pairing strength with the one that's on there instead of this one? Probably not. Oh, okay, well. This one to here. 30% accuracy. Dope.
Shotbow. On both of the weapon sets you want to run frailty and strength to just get enough might stacks, to get enough vulnerability stacks on the enemy, and it's really easy to upkeep. Just keep in mind that you want to try to strike them from behind or the flank
but
if they are not defined. And then we have the Leg of Rivers. That's so strong on this.
Okay. Relic of Rivers just seems
because
cracked. Just in general. doesn't seem like I can get rivers. Ah, alright, you said that already, yeah.
Not enough energy.
Can I go and get it without starting the story? No, can I get it without starting the story? While I look up the build. Right. I want to rename. So this is. Right, chat's covered for a second, apologies. So it's skirmishing. Wilderness survival. Okay, well, none of those options. I mean, well, the first option would be the one that I'd go for, but is there an alternative or no?
Then you get Fury when you weapon swap. It's almost permanent.
Let's see what skills this guy has. So it's okay. I appreciate it. Thank you. That one. It's that one. Just gonna wait for him to get to the video. But I
Then
also
you get
eat
some
really quickly, so I'll be right back. Please don't charge before they die. Right, what skills?
more damage. like the frailty sigil. So if the foe is defined, you will get this, and if you strike from behind or the side, it's also for not defined foes. Really good, because you also do some power damage. Then you get some bleeding on your crit, 33% chance to do it. And your duration of this don't waste your dodge though. If you know that there will be an attack you have to dodge, of course, delay the dodge, but in general it's really strong how much you upkeep you get. You have your really strong poison application here in a volley, fine for damage on your pet, and those skills. I wouldn't spam the 3 if you can upkeep this without the 3, but if you need it, use it, because the evade is also quite nice. And the auto take is also really strong, don't underestimate it. It's some nice bleeding application and it's quite fast. So back to the traits. Wilderness Survival gives you some damage reduction and a lot of passive sustain. So you get more endurance permanently, passively, 25%, really good. You get protection on your dodge, and every second that you have protection, you heal 400 health per second. So this build is really, really tanky just by having permanent protection, getting sustain, and you dodge a lot. You get the Relic of Rivers as well, so the region. It's really crazy. And then you have Vitality, just baseline, and you get more expertise based on your Vitality. Even if you do tuned for the second cooldown, that is, you will steal some. Have quite a lot of CCs. Be aware that really good. Then you have Soul Beast. You get let's say stats. Then whenever you use the Beast ability, so that would be the F2, and if you have the pet out, a pet form without having to go out of the merge and then back in. It's really good. So that's it for the traits. I was explaining the short bow already. So now to the dagger. Dagger is melee, and always try to attack as fast as you can with the auto attack and try to hit it, because it is some really good condition. So how's it called? Spine Gazer. So
How the hell do you get the Spine Gazer?
the Spine Gazer.
Damn it, I said. I'm sorry, did I put it? There it is. Relic of Aristocracy. Okay, thank you so much for your help, man. Low intensity weaver apparently is just all 12 skills. Goddamn. True. True. What? Gonna walk there in real life. Good night, man. Thank you for your help. I appreciate it. Ah, come on. It's not that I hate huge rotations. I hate the idea of the rotation just being the one thing that solves everything when it actually doesn't. Go back. I'll just keep the one that I've got because the other one gives me healing, that one doesn't. Right. I'll see what I end up doing. Right. So I go over. Okay, well, I'm not getting that pet, so that's fine then. Cool, right. I guess I'm just gonna have to roll with this for now. No, I'm okay, thanks, Steven. I'm good, man. I appreciate it, though. Pretty little thing.
I chose you.
Okay, well, it's cool I can swap pets now. Right. This is the build I'm going to be using. More or less. I've got other stuff to get. I'm going to wait for help on that because I don't want to mess you up. I guess I just need to know why this is.
Now to the dagger. Dagger is melee, and always try to attack as fast as you can with your auto attack and try to hit it because it does some really good conditions on them. Then some and a lot of damage from confusion and the general conditions. And be aware that the pet skills also increase, also apply the quickness application. And then on so on pets you would use the Iboga and the, what's it called? Spine Gazer. So the Spine Gazer. So the Iboga is always, you should always use the Iboga because it applies a lot of conditions. The
Oh,
Spine
I can
Gazer,
be in multiple stances at the same
I would also
time.
say you can use it. It's sharing sadly the same merge skill, the beast skill, so they have the same cooldown, but or at 50% quickness uptime just from using the skill, some super speed, and be aware it's also increasing the duration of all other boons, so just use it when you need it. Just spam it, but also use it when you need a stun break. And then more stuns, really strong. It will increase the duration of all other boons while you have.
This is basically just spam all these abilities. That's fine, I can do that.
I chose you.
That's I just saw the abandoned mark. Poor guy didn't do anything wrong. You don't want to add Stefan 32.
Hello.
Is Mark coming on? You want to do Living World together?
Think we're ready for another attack?
Fuck yeah. Okay, I will join you.
Hi there.
Oh, Mark, I recommend grabbing things from your storage to use for this, for the skip, unless you want to try and hope we find a group and get that going.
Guys, tilt your head a little.
Come on, I don't.
Yo, what up, bro?
Have a nice day.
I often catch myself watching the skies for enemies.
Hello.
Hey,
The what am I trying to say, man? My brain's gone. Why does my brain stop working? Someone help me. I do, Mark. You need something from your material storage. The toxic spore, the spore things is what you need. Before we start.
What's this sculpture supposed to be?
I recommend getting them from your material storage. As many of them as you have.
Behave yourself.
I think I might have used all mine. I can check though. Real quick, see how many I've got. How many have you got? Loads or like a couple? Basics might be enough. I'll grab mine just in case. You have no idea how helpful this thing is. The girl on fire.
Fight with valor.
You can start if you want. Oh wait.
Eternal vigilance.
Huh? Oh wait, I can maybe even drag us past this, Mark. I don't know if it'll count as you completing it or not. But yeah, you basically just need to give her a bunch of spores, and then you can skip the tower. But I can just take us into the core if you want. Because we're basically just skipping it by using the spores anyway. I didn't even think. Okay, well, we'll say you did have enough. Kind of forgot that was a thing.
Don't turn around!
So glad that's over. They were hallucinations. You sure?
I'm sure. Somebody,
I
I'll
don't
call
know how
her
I keep
Scarlet,
these
was
bins up
messing with our
constantly.
minds.
I'm not sure how
Okay.
that.
Then let's figure out what she's up to here and put an end to it.
Are you afraid? You should be. Run for your life!
Our serpentine friends are working themselves into quite a frenzy.
As long as they believe we're incarnating one of their true prophets, they'll die to protect it. It's a pity that Scarlet didn't stay to witness the realization of her vision.
I was skeptical, but I see now that our alliance has borne wondrous fruit.
My pretty, pretty abominations. Maybe I'll remake you too, in watchwork, after your death.
Okay, we can do
I don't get it.
Stick close to me.
One step at a time.
This is just worse. I don't understand.
I'm in your mind.
Like, this is just less damage. I have more health, but this is less damage. Like, way less.
Don't be discouraged, darling. You can't help being inferior. My ether blades will cut you to pieces this time.
Like, I was gonna open for more. This is just.
Armored up. Urge to kill rising.
Ow! Oh, fudge, that hurts.
What's the matter? You okay?
It's just... I'll be okay.
I don't
Keep
understand.
moving.
Are you afraid?
Huh?
You should be. Don't look behind you.
What up, Fabs? I'm actually not even getting okay, I'm getting damage, but it's...
Burny skin blisters.
That's how you want to play it.
Sizzling. Ooh, is it time for breakfast yet?
Urge to kill rising. I feel so all over.
I mean, this is just actively worse. I don't really understand.
Sure we're still not hallucinating?
Like, the only reason I'm
if
surviving
that's what
longer
you're
is because
asking.
you're here.
Oh, phew.
There's two of us over one of us.
Why don't you just give up?
I should also turn off headphone output.
To our moment of triumph.
No! Infidels must not be allowed in the presence of our prophet!
Now, no need to be rude. Don't you imagine your prophet is up to this pathetic challenge?
Kill the infidel!
No, I'm not all smiles.
Eat my dust.
Pay no attention to the cutie in the corner. Far be it from me to interrupt your big death scene. On the other hand, nothing wrong with a little anticipation. We've been having so much fun, haven't we? Ah, the memories. No one even noticed the strings on my Flame Legion and Dredge puppets. Yay me! And I made them dance so pretty. Although, I suppose I did go a bit cuckoo with my crew. And crew? Ha! Lions are to be talking about that hoo-ha for, oh, generations. But my favorite performance to date was Queen's Jubilee. Oh, sigh. I do miss
Yes,
the
I can
charming
join you
Lord
in
Farron
Discord.
and his fancy man.
What up, buddy?
Again. Just not before I see you. The Kratoratus are expecting a visit from their god. I wore my best ribbons for the occasion.
Armored up.
I mean, unless I'm doing something wrong, this guy just lied. Because I'm absolutely losing the boons before I get them back.
Refreshing.
I'll be damned if it's really near the cliff.
Over here! Hurry!
Hello, good looking. What dreadful business? You were amazing. Can't get enough of me, huh? Hello. Greetings.
You can never have too much treasure.
Jaw that joke. There's a few things that are confusing with this build. It's also about gathering boons, and there's one stance on here that consumes my boons. Weird. Oh, sorry, report chat. I plan on doing it just as. Wait, it didn't count for you? What the hell? I guess if you start. Oh, you probably need to take us to the instance.
Fight with valor.
Hang on, wait, can I send a few of these to you, Mark? Oh, I deposited them, 1 sec. I'll send you a few more. I'll send you a few more of the samples if I can. Yeah, they're not bound.
Do you have a moment?
Okay. Take those. That's the last of mine. Nice. Send us up there.
I'm so glad that's over.
If you have the DPS
They were
meter up, Mark,
hallucinations. You sure?
let me know.
I'm sure.
What it's saying.
Somebody, I'll call her Scarlet,
how have I been
was
doing?
messing with our
'Cause
minds.
it does not feel like I'm
Okay.
doing much.
Then let's figure out what she's up to here.
Like I'm
and put an
surviving
end to
more,
it.
but it feels like it's at the cost of having any kind of
You
impact.
should be.
Okay.
Our serpentines are working themselves into quite a frenzy.
As long as they
Maybe I'm
believe we're
keeping the boons up
incarnating
as,
one of their true
more than I thought.
prophets, they'll die to protect it. It's a pity that Scarlet didn't stay to witness the realization of her vision.
I was skeptical, But I see now that our alliance has borne wondrous fruit.
My pretty, pretty abominations. Maybe I'll remake you too. You won't work after your day.
I know I get healing from something, and I don't know what.
Okay, we can do this. Stick close to me.
One step at a time.
I'm in your mind,
Running out of endurance.
playing with your thoughts. Don't be discouraged, darling. You can't help being inferior.
Here we go.
My ether blades will cut you to pieces this time.
Armored courage to kill rising.
Ow! Oh, fudge, that hurts.
Are you afraid? You should be.
Just a thorn. I'll be okay. Keep moving.
Don't look behind you. Burny skin blisters. Fat sizzling. Oh, is it time for breakfast yet?
Oh shit, sorry.
Armored up.
I'm not doing 0 damage. Oh, we need to focus these guys first, that's why.
You sure we're still not hallucinating?
I'm real, if that's what you're asking.
Why don't you just give up?
We must be almost there. The air is growing thicker.
Your friends are all dead. You can thank me later.
Oh, look who's arrived, just in time to bear witness to our moment of triumph.
Now, infidels must not be allowed in the presence of our prophet.
Now, no need to be rude. Don't you imagine your prophet is up to this pathetic challenge?
Kill the infidels.
Refreshing.
your attention to the cutie in the corner. Far be it from me to interrupt your big death scene. On the other hand, nothing wrong with a little anticipation. We've been having so much fun, haven't we? Ah, the memories. No one even noticed the strings on my Flame Legion and Dredge puppets. Yay me! And I made them dance so pretty. Although, I suppose I did go a bit cuckoo with my crew. And crew. Ha! Lions are to be talking about that hoo-ha for, oh, generations. But my favorite performance to date was Queen's Jubilee. Oh, sigh. I do miss the Cratorratus.
So I think that's where you properly learned that she was involved in everything.
Best ribbons for the occasion.
Too strong.
Oh, I just got a miniature. Oh, you must have got it too, without any part members dying to defeat him. Nice.
That'll do the trick.
Oh, how are you? We were amazing.
I will not change your mind, or I agree.
Greetings.
Alright, and now guess what? Back in the tower for us.
Gods bless. It's been weeks and it's still alive. We get close and something interferes. It has to be one of Scarlet's tricks.
I'm so tired. What are we missing?
Not we, me. I'm missing some key element. I'm so exhausted I can't see it. Will you have a look around? See if you can spot the weak point in these magical defenses.
We'll be here if you need us. Leave it to Scarlet to befuddle us again. Oh, how are you?
Ah. I've got it. Got it.
Damn Scarlet's eyes. She knew we wouldn't be able to just kill this plant.
I will rend your mind! Strong. I'm bleeding.
That's what I'm talking about. That'll do the trick.
Finger some ball fondling.
What if it knows what we're about to do?
And what exactly are we about to do?
We're going to pump every last ounce of my antitoxin into the stock of this thing until it can't take another drop.
Okay, calm down, Marjorie.
It's been a long day.
Mark, me and you thought the exact same thing.
Gotta get out.
Yep.
All bets are off.
Well, we've just emptied Marjorie's balls. For the tower.
Why can't they just let me show pain? Barely.
Are you down, Mark? Oh, crap. Oh, I didn't mean to undo that. No.
Armored up. Strong.
You'll be feeling that one for days.
Urge to kill rising.
Mother.
Too strong.
I don't know if I like this build, which is really annoying because I just spent ages getting it
Keep a good man.
set up. And I'm down again. I can't do anything to this blue shield. I'm dead. Okay. I can't do anything to this blue shield, by the way. Nothing. I'm gonna try with my other build. He just said no to my CC, so... And I'm dead. I'm just dead, yeah, okay.
I need help. appreciate the help. We heal as one. Second.
Why am I not getting barrier from that? What the fuck?
We heal as one. Second.
Barely.
Man, I didn't even get to use my CC, just one shot me. Come on, man. I was in the middle of healing. That. I can get myself up, Mark. Don't worry. Just avoid damage.
My pet needs help.
Nope, or he'll focus my pet and go fucking sicko mode.
Strong.
Oh shit, you get to interrupt that healing, man.
To kill rising. Eat my dust. Pounded in dust. We heal as one. I don't have enough energy. We heal as one. Armored up. Help me, please.
Come on, get me up before he focuses you. Come on, come on.
I owe
Good
you.
job, Moa.
Heal as one.
Dude, these plants are pissing me right off. They just knock me on the ground for like 2 seconds and then he kills me.
Strong.
Come on. Fuck's sake. Just finish him off, Mark. I believe in you. Well done, man. Okay, I don't enjoy the new build I'm using, but at least I can survive with it, as boring as it is. That was just not fun.
That looks valuable.
Dude, I know, honestly, part of me was worried that was gonna happen.
Hello. I wanted to congratulate you on solving the counselor's murder.
My, aren't you a big boy?
One of the biggest in my homestead, actually. I'm Bran. Pleased to meet you.
Well, Bram, I don't currently have any mountain-sized acquaintances, so the pleasure's all mine. You can call me Marjorie.
Hi there. I'm Casimir, Marjorie's assistant. Are you the ones who went after Scarlet?
Yeah, I'm Bran, and that's Rox.
Hello. I bet you two turn heads when you break through a crowd.
Funny. I was thinking the same thing about you.
Well, then I'm doubly glad to meet you.
Hell yeah.
What?
Hey.
Hello, good looking.
Good day.
Oh. Do you want to do number 5, Mark? Or... Yeah, fair enough. I should probably head off too. What? I'm not really enjoying this build, but I also am missing half the weapons for it. So that could be issue number one. I don't know, it's weird. I'm not finding one I enjoy for this. Because the one I enjoy just gets me killed. And unless I go back to Untamed. Because Untamed with Hammer is fun. It gives me like life siphoning, but...
Eternal vigilance.
I think so. I don't know if that gives it maybe we were getting them separately. I know I get loads of stacks of might. I don't know if I give it to the whole party or if it's just to me. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I don't know what to do with mine. I'm not enjoying this. I just kind of like exist and deal a little bit of damage. It's not really super fun. But I also don't have the money to get... That's the other thing, I want to try out different builds, but I don't have the money to keep spending on the gear each time, you know? We'll see.
Strong.
Because yeah, the damage is like nothing.
Centaur's back. You've got to take the bridge.
Yeah, that would do it. That would most definitely be the might.
You're my lucky charm.
Melissa Agee. I carry only the highest quality goods.
What do you need?
I'm gonna do a little bit of research on builds and then head off to bed, I think is my plan. And then I'll be on for a bit tomorrow before I go to work, but I can't remember what day you're heading off for LARPing. Did you say Thursday or Friday? Friday. Look, we play a bit together. I am, this week I'm working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So...
2 as 1.
Busy. That's why I treated myself and got the 2 DLCs on sale. So I thought, you know what? If I'm working all those extra shifts, I'll get myself something nice. Oh wait. There we go. Right. Well, to